Thank you. Welcome everybody. Here, there, everywhere. We are Sebastian with the dance company. This is Michaela over here. Over there on screen is Nick. Watching us, hopefully, Diana, Helen, Gaetana, Fran, they're not here with us, but we send you huge kiss, and we wish that you guys were here with us. We are here today, Dr. Hops. This is a local brewery in Leipzig, and we're celebrating our summer camp, and we're here with fabulous tap dancers, which we're not going to film, but they're going to make huge noise. Incredible, and we're here today and we're talking with our guest artist for the summer camp. This is Andreas Dänel. Max Pollak. And Sebastian. So we're here at Dr. Hops, and today we're doing a live stream talk with them, with everyone, and we're doing also a beer tasting. And I'm going to invite now Franz from Dr. Hops to come over because we're going to be trying 3 different beers, and these beers have been chosen according to the personality of our 3 guests today. So be aware of this.
Hello, you 3. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here in this humble bar, and nice to have you here on the screens. Yeah, freaking out people here. So, my duty is today to serve you some beers. Okay. And the funny thing about that was that Nikolai sent me a couple of sentences about your kind of personality. I'm not a psychoanalyst or something. I'm just a beer drinker. But well, you told me, Sebastian, that you wanted to make to do ballet dance, right? Yeah. And what you told me was, luckily, it didn't work out. and so now you do much better things now. Yeah. So that's why my decision was you are the lucky Jack today because of doing nice things. That's a very nice American-style pale ale from Norway, actually. And the nice thing is, it's a very nice, easygoing beer. It has nice, smooth taste of hops. It's a little bit fruity. It's a little bit red, isn't it? Yeah, it's a little bit red. That's right, because it's brewed with so-called caramels. And the caramels, it's really a malt. It's a really nice. Red malt from the barley, actually, and it's a little bit. I mean, you will feel it. It gives a little bit sweetness to beer, as well as a kind of red color.
This is where you should be here and not at home.
I'm so sorry for you at home. Nice drinks at home.
Yeah.
And the nice thing of this beer is really it combines the nice fruitiness of the hops, with the sweetness. And so I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. Cheers. There is still something in the can. Okay. So who likes it most should drink it. Cheers. Cheers. So now I give you some space. You're now prepared for the next, 15 minutes. Then I come with the next beer.
Okay. That's how it goes. This is interesting. Does it taste different than it smells? Don't you think? Yeah.
A little bit.
It does not taste as fruity as it smells.
I'm wondering why I don't have a glass.
Ah, hey.
so you can.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought your script was written voice only.
You need some more cans to.
Here you go.
Complete the tasting.
Yeah.
Can we have some more?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just have 50 minutes, you know?
Well, it's already gone.
You still have to do it ahead, my friend.
Yeah, sure.
I give you
Very, very hoppy. Very hoppy. It's mostly makes me hot.
Yeah, so drink beer instead of practicing hops.
It's a hoppy beer.
It's great. We were thinking of different ways to ask questions. And we were thinking of different ways to make it talk, but we know that you guys talk a lot.
Yes.
So actually, yeah, especially with beer.
Yes.
So we were asking last week on social media to people to send us questions through Instagram. And these are some that we have selected, and I will just leave them here. You can choose by their pretty colors on the table, and you just pick one card, and you can answer the three of them together. Okay. What do you think? If you don't like the question, you can put it back in.
Okay.
And I will give you around 10 minutes to talk about that, and then we'll just go into the next beer tasting. Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever color you want.
This is going to be a long night.
You pick.
Yeah.
First, show the camera how beautiful these cards look.
Yes.
Who made the cards?
I made the cover.
Okay, and then
Oh, there's one more.
Okay. Now pick the green. All right, are we ready? What's your most memorable backstage learning experience? Most memorable backstage learning experience. Well, I'll say one of many was watching Buster Brown from backstage at age 79 or something. No, older, 80, 86. Yeah, he was much older than, he was 86, 87. Dancing so fast that I thought, wow, if tap dance can make it possible that you are this active and this agile and this energetic at 86 years old, I think I need to keep practicing. I need to keep doing it. So I will never forget that moment. It was not maybe my most memorable, but it's definitely one very memorable experience.
I remember a moment with Buster backstage when we were touring in Germany, and it was the first evening of this small little tour, and he was like pacing up and down the dressing room, like combing his hair, and he was like just pacing up and down. I mean, what's wrong with the guy? He's not like that usually. And then he says to me like, opening night is always a nervous night. Opening night is always a nervous night, and I thought, shit, this guy is like, he's seen it all. Like he's been, like on tour with everybody, with all the greats, and he's been through everything, and he's still nervous for opening night with and then I thought that's so cool, and I thought you will never get to the point of being so cool that you are not vulnerable to this. It's just part of it. I thought that was really cool. And then of course he had people on his finger.
Well, my experience is always when I'm backstage with great artists around me, which honor me a lot. And just like your experience, you picked out specific ones. But any festival where great artists were on the same stage like I was, to observe how they dealt with diversity or prepared to their performance and how they performed was a great experience, and it was certainly a great moment to learn from. I can't pick out specific ones, but I'm grateful for having many times the chance to be on stage with my teachers and brothers. And certainly I learned, and this means a lot from him, not only students class.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for me, like, also I think that backstage is not a very important place for me, really. Not so many memories relate to backstage. Like, for sure, this whole Diana's
Sure.
legacy, that was like a huge impact on me. But there was a backstage thing, there was no backstage.
Well,
That's why-
yeah, some of the most memorable and intense experiences happen in a situation where there is no backstage.
Yeah.
Where the stage is the backstage.
Yeah, it's so
So you
small.
have to just, you're doing 3 sets, and you have to be on the entire time because you can't hide. There's no backstage to hide. So you have to keep your energy up, and you have to keep control over what's happening. Even when others are playing, you're still the host, So you're still putting out energy, and you have to be careful with your energy, because you have 2 more sets,
Yes.
Like we used to do at Vienna, that's like 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And back then people were smoking,
Oh,
in the club, so you have a lot of people smoking cigars while you're tap dancing, while you're singing, while you're playing, whatever, and you're just going. So those are definitely formative backstage experiences because the backstage was on stage.
no, yeah.
But to me, it's better like this than waiting for hours until you're on.
Yeah, totally, because you would see everything in its creation, right? You see like the decision of who's up next, you see the discussion of what we're going to play, you see you see like if it's not strong enough, the saxophone will just like play over it and like drown the dancer. You see all the interaction, you see like people ordering a beer in between, and you see like what the strong performances really can quiet the place down.
Sure.
And you see like if somebody's not so strong and then people are starting to chat and stuff, and it's just like 3 or 4 hours of extreme learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
Or extreme learning how not to do it.
Yeah, I mean that's what learning is.
Yeah,
Right? You don't learn
Yeah.
from success. At least I don't. Anyways,
Choice.
yeah, great.
Choose the next one.
Yes. You have a minute per card now, I think.
Oh, this looks beautiful.
Alright.
When everything is going wrong, how do you save the show? When everything is going wrong.
Okay.
Improvise.
Yeah. It depends on the show too, right?
It depends on the situation and who's with you.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like a ping pong game. If you have nothing to bounce the ball off, it's more difficult.
Yeah. Did you remember like a time when everything went wrong and you had to? I don't even remember. I mean, many things.
Everything. No,
I
have to say, so far, I haven't had a situation where everything went wrong. There was always a way out. There was always a resolution where finally you could do your show. But
Well, I remember some pretty bad things with you.
yeah,
I guess you just call it on.
yeah. For me, the most difficult situations, some of them have been in Cuba, where you supposed to have a show in a big theater, and there's no electricity all of a sudden. No lights, no sound, and all this just dark. Yeah.
But that's the funny side of everything going wrong.
Yeah.
I had this in China.
Yeah.
Like we would get to a club, and I said we need a wood floor, and the wood floor was actually fake wood, it was aluminium.
Of course.
And the drum set was like a kid's drum set, was still packed.
Nice.
And then the piano was a toy, and just things like that. But then everybody knows it's not your fault, and it's just funny, right?
Yeah.
That's like a good. But I also remember things when one time we were performing a piece that was very theatrical, and it had a lot of acting in it, and we were performing in a museum, and it was the most awkward place, and the audience was like dead silent. They hated the piece. And we were like, hey, and it was all in English, so there were like jokes, and there was no reaction, zero. And you could just feel how it was colder and colder, and you have to be doing the next thing. That's the mean way of everything going on.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And then the microphone lost the battery, so then that didn't work anymore, and it was just hell. It was hell.
Yes, some moments that you really I can feel your heart stand still when you are complicated or when you improvise, and then everybody has to come into an arrangement that is set, and that doesn't. Then you can. Yeah, do you remember this thing when we fucked up the slow punter? What was that? Yeah, but I mean, like,
train wrecks.
Yeah, man, like, you know, like, when I'm doing this, this person over there should not be doing what they're doing. One of us is off now, and then it's like, oh, this person's off too, maybe it's me, and everything just crumbles.
But I mean, I've been in situations where something difficult was supposed to happen and it was a train wreck. It was just like, didn't work. And the conductor just stopped and said, okay, one more time.
Yeah.
And you just start from the beginning, and then the second time it's fine. That usually actually causes a better reaction from the audience, because they like when they see that something is the human factor. When people see the human factor, it's like, oh wow, they're not robots. You know,
absolutely.
Things can happen.
The thing is,
people identify with that, like, okay, let's give them a second chance. Great.
The thing is, I think if you try to avoid the train wreck, you already lost. You know what I mean? It's already stale.
Yeah.
So I think Wayne Shorter or somebody said, or Pharaoh Sanders or somebody said, people are drawn to.
Sure.
There is truth in that.
Absolutely.
If you risk anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. If you don't risk anything, you're not really an artist. You know, like Jimmy Slide used to say, if you haven't fallen, you haven't danced.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what
you have to slip, or you know, if you haven't hit the ground, you haven't tried hard enough.
Yeah. That's why I think Buster was nervous to the 86, because it's always you know, play it safe, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Good. Well, that's a good one.
I'm just being the lottery.
Okay. This. What do you think about when you're dancing? That's easy. Sometimes. And every now and then, but that's pretty much it.
It's very easy to be. If my step is supposed to be step discovered the shuffle, I think duck. That's what I'm thinking. Try not to get distracted from that. If I notice a book, I should go to the toilet or something. Not getting distracted by what the feet is going to do next. That's what I'm thinking. Trying to be on that track.
Yeah, for me, it's a huge difference whether I'm performing in a jazz context, when I'm improvising with the band, or if I'm performing a piece with my company. That's like very different to me, because when I'm improvising with the band, like I'm trying to like disappear. Like I'm not thinking anything. I don't even feel I'm doing anything. I'm just sort of let everything happen, sort of, right? And very sort of instinctual. But when I perform with the company, there's so much sort of subtext in the body through the wrong creation of the piece that it's almost like I'm living through a movie or something. You know what I mean? It's like I get into different moods and atmospheres, and that's very exciting. It's sort of like going through a landscape or something, and I know like, oh, now I'm going here. It's like even I'm always discovering new things, you know, so it's a lot of curiosity. It's almost like listening to a story, but we're actually telling the story, but you know what I mean? So it's different. It's different from the improvisation, because there also many times we're just doing choreographed things. Like, I don't have the freedom to just, they're also different.
So like experiencing the same piece like from the audience in yourself while you're performing it.
Yeah, I mean, those are like huge, fascinating questions to me because I think there's a lot of feedback between the audience and the performer. Yeah. On a level that I'm not consciously noticing, but it's happening. And I really feel that if my body doesn't have an opinion.
I think it's time for another beer here. Okay, hurry. So did you finish your beers? What's that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay.
We keep it.
Awesome. So, now I have, of course, we are very professional, and that's what we're doing here. And that's why I have new, fresh glasses here. And these are like really nice assistants. Applause for Lisa! Thanks for taking care of these glasses. Yeah. So, and now I have 5 glasses, so yeah, that you also get something. Yeah. Then I don't have to be ashamed again. Yes, this is completely full. What did you do? You were just talking, not drinking. Well, okay. So now, Sebastian, what did you think about the beer?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah? Nice. Would you have to say that to any beer I get to you?
No, I really like it. It's like, it smells very fruity and light, but it's a bit more spicy than I thought it would be. So
Yeah.
I thought it was
To
really
me,
nice.
it tastes a little bit like an IPA.
Yeah.
It's a little lighter.
I mean, it's a
but
pale ale. It's kind of the little brother of my
Right.
ale.
Very hoppy, but very, the fruit is undeniable.
Yeah, nice.
What are we drinking now?
Yeah. Now it's very interesting. Yeah, Max, this is your beer actually, and this is a so-called Leipziger Hose. Did you ever hear of this type of beer?
Style?
Yeah, or Leipziger Hose. That's the style of the beer.
Oh.
So it's very funny because someone told me you are really a pro in kind of body percussion. Is that right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Hopefully, I will see something of that. So in my thought, it was like. When you do body percussion, it's really like you need to feel your whole body.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that you can really let yourself on point.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is a sour beer. Yeah.
Okay.
And sour things do something very, very nice to us. They really make us feel our body.
Uh-huh.
So let me give you a little bit more here. So that you don't complain later, right? So nice.
Wow.
So here, beer for everything. Yeah, it's a very. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to your health and to your dancing moves.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, the sour is very subtle. It's not overpowering.
Yeah, it's not overpowering. So I
Really
mean,
interesting.
we have also very, very sour beers here, and I thought maybe I give you just in between option. That's actually a beer. It's brewed here in Leipzig, so very local beer, very patriotic of beer.
Sure.
From Leipzig,
Sure.
of course. And the interesting thing is, it's really made with lactic acids.
Wow.
This is what it makes so sour, and it's brewed with salt and with coriander seeds. So it gives it this kind of salty, like herbal taste in this beer.
It's a smell that I've never experienced in a beer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's really
Did
wild.
you guess the coriander seeds?
No,
Do
not
you have this beer? Why do you know it?
Gozen, huh?
Gozen.
That's great. That's really interesting.
Invented in Goslar, actually.
In Goslar.
In Goslar, yeah, German city,
Yeah.
not too far from here, but actually Leipzig made it popular, this sour beer. And it's really, if you go back to New York, ask the craft beer people if they know Gozer.
Okay.
They would probably say yes. And because also these guys, 70% of the beer they make, they export to Scandinavia and to the USA.
Okay. No, sour beers are very much on vogue
Yeah,
in the
right.
US. They like that.
Yeah.
But I've had sour beers where you take one sip and your face just shrinks.
Sour. We do have them here. Very traditional Belgian style sour. It's really like having a sip of vinegar.
It's very intense. With other sour beers, what do they use to make them sour? This is with lactic acid, you said?
Yeah, right. Usually it's lactic
Lactose?
acid. Yeah.
Usually, okay.
Yeah. That's very common. If you get a sour beer, it's not made with lactic acid. It's probably just a dead beer. It's too old. And what you also can have is you can also make sour beers that are brewed with sour malts. So you have malts, and they can change the pH value of the beer. But usually they are just used to kind of adjust the water quality. So because you need a very good water to have good beer, and with these sour malts you can adjust this a little bit. But you can also use them to make sour beers. But the very common way is really to use the lactic acids for beer.
Okay. And the lactic acid comes from where?
It's just you take it from a laboratory or something.
Oh really? Oh, just
Right.
You don't use it. You don't bring it from like actual.
And you can also do it. There are also a couple of traditional breweries like in Belgium or in Norway, and it's kind of they have the yeast on really old wooden pieces.
That's wild yeast.
Yeah, right. The wild yeast.
Wild yeast on a piece of wood.
Yeah, it's kind of really. They use a piece of wood that's 200 years old. Yeah, and there's yeast on it, and also heaps of very strange, not hygienic things.
Yeah.
And they brew the beer with that, and then you get really a nice sour touch and really interesting flavor that's hardly welcome in the beer scene, because it's really something unique. Yeah, but usually in Germany, it's right to work as hygienic as possible. Yeah, and so it's a little bit. It's.
The machines are like a specialty of this one. It's not something that's.
Yeah, right. So this is really a specialty of this one. I give you another bottle. For sure. So I give you another bottle. You can enjoy this beer and talk about dancing. Sorry?
Yes, and we continue.
Yeah, and you continue, right.
The amazing thing about Fran is that we just gave some descriptions, what we know. Nick gave some descriptions about you, and he picked a beer according to your personality.
Okay.
So now the audience has the opportunity here to have a beer picked to their personality by Franz if you win the next game. So it's very easy. I lost my card because I made all of these, but I forgot to make one extra for me. And I'm going to tell you a story that happened to one of them in a bar, and you have to yell who it belongs. So you have to say Sebastian, Max, or Andreas, and the person who yells first wins.
We need a judge, but it needs to be the right pick.
It has to be the right pick, of course. Of course, it has to be. We need a judge. Who wants to come and check? Michela is.
Samaki.
Yeah. So the story is the following. Listen carefully.
Maybe only one choice. I mean, otherwise I could say all the three names.
Yeah, only one choice. Only one choice. But you have to yell
Yeah,
first.
it's strategic.
Yeah. So the story goes like this. Some things have been changed because I forgot all of the details of the story. But the essence of the story is there. So let's So the story is the following. I was once in a bar and I finished doing a gig when suddenly an unknown person came to me and asked me if I wanted some coconut water. And I said, yeah, sure. And then this person went outside, went on a tree, climbed the tree, got the coconut, came down, crushed the coconut into the pavement, 3 times, opened the coconut, and finally gave it to me and said, "Here, you have. This is a kiss of our mother Africa to you."
Max. Sebastian. Mariana. Max. She's here.
Mariana wins. Yeah, you get a beer. Oh! She doesn't drink beer.
Do you have any coconuts?
I have few coconuts.
Okay.
Anything you want.
Well, anything from the bar that you
France
want.
has to decide.
Yeah.
She's the.
Well, in this case, I'm going to tell you another one. Another one. We'll have another one and you can guess. Hopefully someone that drinks beer in the audience.
Okay.
So the story, this one is very short. I was once dancing with a woman and I threw her on the floor.
Sebastian.
How do you know? It was you.
It was
She was not a woman, but
Was that the end of the story already?
Yeah, that was the end of the story.
Two sentences.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, quite somebody who went from the heart.
We have another
Personality.
I was once
And-
the woman and I threw her on the floor.
And now we go to the third beer. So,
We need more context for this story.
no, okay, we need more context.
I think
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I was an exchange student in the US, in Kansas. They did these trips, like, and we went to Florida, I believe. And in the US, you can only drink after you're 21, right? So for us, that was strange. It was 18, and you're considered a kid. And I was, and they dropped us off at like a street of amusement, bars and things. And we were walking around, and there's this place that played rock and roll music. And I went in there to dance.
And you're 18.
Yeah, I'm 17 or 18, something like this.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like dancing like crazy on the dance floor in this super fancy hotel style bar with a rock and roll band playing. And Americans, if they dance party, they're like this, right? It's like, so nothing's going on. So
Enter Sebastian.
that's how I got into dancing, because I was in the high school league. I was like, people were writing articles about me and stuff because I was shy asking people for a date, right? So I was dancing by myself and I was just going crazy. So I did the same thing in this place, and I didn't think of anything else. And then after some time, I got a drink or something, and then a lady, maybe twice my age, like super stylish and everything, asked me for a dance. And I never went to dance class. I don't know how to dance with anybody in front of me. So I just thought what I had to do, like, I was sitting now, and I did some crazy shit, and she was just like in front of me, and then I started pulling and pushing. And then,
Sounds like a date.
and then she was on the floor. It was very embarrassing.
Was she interested?
No, I mean, maybe I cried or something. No. But after that, I had to leave. It was very bad. It was like, later when I had to finish the year in the high school, it's another American thing. You didn't go to school there, I guess, but like in English class, many times they do things like tell your most embarrassing story. And for me, it was always this story. That was the most embarrassing.
Well, now it's on time.
That's right. You
Yeah.
will live forever.
You're out there. You're somewhere out there.
Well, the thing is looking now,
Cheers. So we drink to you.
Salud.
Salud.
We're ready for the third takeaway.
Already?
Yeah.
But what about the story? There's no story.
Don't we have another story?
No, we just had 2 prizes right now.
So another
Well, we want the story from Andreas.
another
But it's
question?
no surprise anymore.
It's no surprise, but
But you can have like a true or false or something. I want to hear the story of Andreas.
Ah,
You got my most embarrassing, you got the romance from Africa.
it was a bromance.
Yeah.
it's a girl.
Bromance.
I think you should tell a story after you finish this beer.
Okay.
Okay.
No pressure.
You pretend not to great have one. Okay. Did you turn in any stories or did you not do your homework?
I did very hard my homework, but I only found one story that is sounds like an anecdote.
Okay, so we're gonna,
Because everything in my career went so smooth. It's really boring to hear, but it was great for me to experience. But
We're not really looking for a career story. We're looking for a bar story.
yes, I have never been performed in a bar.
But you don't really have to be performing in a bar to have a bar story. He wasn't performing in a bar. He was just walking in to have a good time.
I will answer you.
There are certainly stories, but I don't remember them.
That's the story.
I don't remember how they came out.
It's like a Dean Martin, like I was acknowledging.
That's the story, not let me. That's the story.
Andreas has only stories with films.
Well, we will take care of it tonight. Yeah.
Tonight he will have a story to tell.
And I do my best not to let it happen anymore.
Well, we have some beers coming your way. Here's a.
Yeah, really interesting anecdote. So let's go back to the beers, please. Thank you so much. So, the last beer, well, at least the last beer that is filmed by this guy over there. So there will probably be some more beers later. So, Andreas, this is your beer, actually. So I've heard you are really kind of a guy who does heaps of things. You're playing a couple of instruments. You're even composing music. And you're dancing, so you do such a lot of things and you combine them. This sounds so interesting and so inspiring. And I really had to think about a lot which kind of beer could fit. And then I decided for something really, a couple of people at our bar laugh about this beer because it's a mustard honey beer from Bautzen. And actually, who doesn't know, Bautzen is the only mustard city in Germany. Who agrees? No. Bautzner Senf, people. Bautzner Senf. Yeah. And from this city comes really a beer that's brewed with mustard. Yeah.
Wow.
And
I'm very excited.
and you know, and the inspiration was you combine such a lot of things. The composing, the playing music, the dancing. So a beer should fit that, you know, that combines the classical taste of a beer, but also experience we know from just eating. And you would never thought that can make mustard and beer can be a good combination. Or maybe you also want to think it after drinking this beer, but maybe yes, we will see. And so I thought this can make a really good beer for you. And so this is what we try now. For instance, Senfhonig. That's this is how it's called.
So these are always interesting sounding stories that make me move and keep on going. You know, I think this could be
From Hand?
No. Yeah, sure. Let's like all the others. This is also real craft beer, so let's handcraft it. It's not like an industrial product.
Whoa! Yeah, that smells like you put some mustard on a Wurst and you dip it in some salad, and then you put some honey on top of it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Wow, that is really interesting. Yeah, you guys have to smell this.
It's the strongest flavor.
That's the most unusual smell I've ever had from a beer. Wow. That I've had from a glass.
I'm going to ask how you say it.
Yeah, it was yours.
Thank you.
Here we go.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna walk around and let people smell this.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
do that.
This is very
Smell, please. Oh,
You just drank it?
No, I smelled it. It's going around here somewhere.
I was like,
Somebody has it. I know,
I haven't tasted it yet.
Good. Tastes good.
Oh, yeah.
let's try it.
Wow, okay, let's drink
try
it.
it.
Let's drink it.
So, cheer health.
Cheers.
Cheer health, everyone. Cheers.
That is, can I have a case to take back to New York?
Of course you can. Like,
Wow,
have a look at the
fantastic.
import restrictions and so by the way, here's a
It's
complete
very sweet, it's very sweet.
Yeah, like, in my opinion, you have the smell more than mustard
Yeah.
and the taste more than honey. And that's kind of a very nice combination.
It really, it smells like a little bit like salad dressing.
Yeah.
And you smell the, you taste the honey. That's really interesting. Awesome. Wow.
Yeah, reduce your alcohol.
That's great. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, nice. So I'm glad you liked it.
Yes. That's,
So I give you now again some room for your interesting stories. Don't keep too fast. I want to see you dance.
okay.
I want to see you dance.
We have
Oh, I see you like
we have some questions. Our beautiful audience over here write for you that they didn't know that the three of you had to answer with just one word. So we
One
just
word?
one question, and you have one word to answer.
Oh.
And to make the game a little fast,
man.
you will always answer Sebastian first and Max and Andreas. The question then, boom, 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 and
Why do I have to go first?
because you are in front of me. And I have some bench. And I have some bench to take. So that's right.
Nick said I can relax.
If you pass, you drink.
Get the beer.
Just take a shot.
Take a shot.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, ready?
You guys.
You be ready?
You ready?
Yes.
Everybody ready? Okay. Cat or dog?
I hate them both.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Cat or dog?
Dog, of course.
Oh.
Oh,
Music or dance?
dance.
Music.
Music.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Sweet.
Salty.
Soul clave or rumba clave?
Rumba.
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 Okay, one word about the history of tap dance.
I'm finished.
Clap.
Robinson.
Ooh. One word for the future of tap dance.
That was a word.
Glory. Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay. Okay, one word to describe Sebastian.
Good.
Great.
Fantastic. I agree. That's a shock.
So one word to describe Max.
Connecting. Outrageous.
One word to describe Andreas.
Visionary.
Multiple genius.
It counts as a one word or it should be drink. I think you should drink.
There's one genius. There's one word.
It's one word now. Okay. This is a question quote. So what tastes different from what it smells?
What tastes
The first beer.
Yeah, the beer.
They're very beer.
Vodka.
Chewing gum.
Sebastian Max.
Squeeze it.
They're very strong.
Really great answer.
There you
So, which is your favorite pair of shoes? Which is the nicest shoes you have?
You have.
I don't have a
You just have one?
No. Precise the question. Have or have?
Okay, both.
Tap shoe or
Either
any
hand
shoe?
or half.
All right.
Or you drink.
Tap or any shoe?
No, stop.
Tap shoe.
Tap shoe.
Drink. For the question you
Already.
So that's it for the question.
Yeah, I have one more question.
Okay, last one.
What is up with that double shuffle, Andreas? What is up with that double shuffle?
She's still traumatized for your double shuffle.
Yeah.
We can just leave. So. I can just bring her.
Thank you so much.
What's up with the number?
One word.
Yeah.
One word.
Thanks.
Okay, gentlemen.
Sounds so serious.
First of all, I want to tell you that I am so happy to see you guys together here in Leipzig at the festival, man. You are amazing people and so inspiring to all of us. And we love you. And we really thank you for coming and sharing and being who you are, man. We really appreciate it. And of course, we appreciate you and love you for what you do and who you are, of course. But we would love it if maybe you would bless us with a little something. Whatever you want. There are no.
Do you care whether it's vertical or horizontal?
Okay. Yeah, about 90 degrees.
Yes.
Temperature.
Well, I'm sure we do something, but can I say something too?
Yeah.
Is it not enough
No,
time?
it's fine.
Yeah, so I'm also like super happy this is happening. I want to tell to the camera, truly, like this has been like a crazy year, right? And this summer camp is made possible by some grants and stuff. So I'm like super excited. And first of all, one thing that's like super exciting to me is like I didn't know anything about this evening because it's entirely organized by the company. Mostly by Andrea and Nick, which is like magnificent, and also with the help of others, Miguela and Vilma and Sam who are here. But like this is really a team thing, and I'm like super blessed to have this team around me and this company around me. It's a dream come true because when we started, I thought this is crazy, and it's still crazy, but now I'm not alone in the craziness, so that's really good.
It's good for you.
Yeah, it's good for me. And the other thing is, I used to always be the youngest, right?
Yeah, that's over.
I used to always be the youngest. Now I'm like getting to be one of the oldest. And these two guys, I've known them for so long that it feels like family.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I met Andreas, I don't know how many years ago, maybe, I don't know, 25, 28, something, I don't know. And we were introduced, or I was told by Uwe Meusel, who was the tap dancer in Freiburg where I grew up. He told me, you should meet this guy, Andreas Dänel. You will like him. And at the time I was running a little jam session at a small club in Freiburg. And I had read the history books, and I knew that bebop basically was founded in the jazz club where they played Monday nights because nobody had a gig on Monday nights, and they had food backstage. And I figured I'd do the same thing. I do a thing Monday nights. I put food backstage, and that way I can hire musicians for little money, and it worked. And it got to be a thing, and I called Andreas, not knowing who he is, and I said, I heard of you, and could you come by? And then, and he lives not far away from Freiburg, where I grew up. And you came, and something was wrong with your car. It was the first time that we met, and something was wrong with your car, and we had to call the ADAC, which is the Automobile Club, to help. And we were both maybe a bit shy or something, and we were just standing on the sidewalks, sort of like, so, Andreas, yeah. And then we just started jamming, and we were like dancing like an hour on the sidewalk until the guy didn't fix the car. And then, that's how I know you. And then we did all sorts of crazy stories. He jumped in to help me out with the piece, and I was crazy. So, yeah. Anyways, I mean,
Stay up there.
Yeah, I have to change my shoes, but
It doesn't matter.
so that's like. I'm going to say one short story just about Andreas, about the genius of Andreas, because it's really underrated dancer. I was doing a piece, like the first time I did a piece that was not a traditional tap dance thing. I had composed all this music, and there was one piece that was like a tribute to Chuck Green, who was like very dear to me, like a master of tap dance. And in this tribute, there was a piece of music that had different signatures to every part of the music. Like every tap dancer had a different time signature, and the bass player and the bass also had a different time signature. And a dancer had left the production, so I was desperate. It was a short time before the premiere, and I didn't know what to do. So I called Andreas and said, "Look, I need somebody to jump in. Can you be part of this production, right?" And yeah, sure, of course. And I went there, and we practiced some stuff, and we did not have the time to rehearse everything. So I said, okay, I have this particular piece, I have the score. I have the music written down, right, and the rhythms. And there was no time to rehearse it, so I said, I'm just going to dance it from the sheet music. So like a couple of days before the premiere, we were at the rehearsal stage in Tanzhaus, doing this thing for the first time. Here's like two super great musicians, and Andreas reading his part from the sheet music and from the score. Like it's like five lines, and like he's reading his part, doing all this stuff where all of us is doing a different time signature. And we're doing it for the first time ever, right? And I wrote the shit, and I'm working on my stuff, and it's over, and everybody's sort of, okay, how do you think? Yeah. And then Andreas goes, it was pretty good, but in bar 37, for the bass, it's not a three tonus, it's a third.
And that's what separates the men from the boys.
Yeah, that's Andreas. And then, of course, Max, you all know Max, right? And I don't have a clear memory of meeting you for the very first time, but I totally remember Diana's. Diana's to me was like, in some ways, even more important than Nakhanov. Maybe not, I don't know, it's not important. But I totally remember that there was a certain flow at Diana's, a certain way of doing the thing. It was very groovy, very thriving, sort of very energetic, and everybody was sort of trying to fit into this energy, which was really cool. And me too, like I was like the worst. I was like a beginner, and they were like great. And then I remember Max at the time always seemed to me a bit different and almost a bit awkward, because you were doing great stuff musically, but you had some sort of angled movement, sort of corner and stuff, and it was like sort of like pieces of a puzzle that I didn't get, And then we were not like friends at the time. We were just somebody that I knew was part of the scene, and I was just like a newcomer. And then with time, these things sort of like shifted, and out came like a style that is so unique. And I thought, that's so crazy. You cannot get out of your own style. Like years later, it was like Roomba tap, and now it's like this whole connected thing of like, I can't even do it, but I thought I was like, I realized it the first time I saw you. And Diana, I thought, that's like awkward, but it's cool. And, and then later I said, oh, what's that? And now it's like this thing. So I'm like super happy that these guys are in my life somehow. Like, we shouldn't leave Sebastian unmentioned. In so many words that honors us so much.
Yeah.
I love you. Yeah, most of all because of your passion and your love and your closing everything in and yeah. So it's no coming down to something. It is it was always a pure honor to work with you. So. Sebastian is one of the greatest.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You should know that.
Yeah. I would say the people who really leave a mark are always the ones who do things in a way like nobody else. You know? They're truly unique. And there are very few people who can do that. Express themselves in a way that is only possible through one person. And this man has always had a voice that was just his, only his. And I don't know of anybody who has so much energy and so much courage to express himself in this very unique way. And he has come further than anyone else I know in expressing that through an incredibly powerful but very individual manner. And he continues to open more doors and to break through more barriers and to bring people together through his unique individuality. And that's Sebastian Weber.
There's no room here. It's like back in the house.
Andreas. Andreas Sebastian. Andreas Sebastian. Andreas Sebastian. Max. Andreas Sebastian. Max. Andreas Sebastian. Max. Leipzig. Andreas Sebastian. Leipzig. Andreas Sebastian. Max. 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 Leipzig. Andreas Sebastian. Leipzig.
Nikolai Germany, Andrea, Derek. Sam, Dan, David Epperson, Summer Town, Max Pollak, Andreas, Dänel, myself. See you soon. Jetzt muss ich aber pinkeln. Ja.